Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutter by Heidi. I'm Heidi Smith, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based here in the United Kingdom, and today's project is using the soon to be no longer available Do the Impossible stamp set. I bought this quite specifically for my sister because she is sports mad. She runs, she swims, she cycles, she has done triathlons, and you know what? If ever there was a stamp set that I thought that's the one for her, this was it. So I'm going to be using this stamp set. I'm using a couple of other things which you might want to get your hands on before they go as well, and that's this lovely designer series paper. So that is changing. These colours are staying for another year, but the actual patterns in the designer series paper are changing. And here's my card. So you can see very simple in terms of just 3 graduated circles, and that's using the stitched shapes dies. One of those really useful ones to have in your stash. You get 4 ovals, circles and squares, and I've just used the 3 largest circles for this. Great one to have available, and it's one that I've just used so much. Anyway, this card, basically it opens up like this. So a little bit different, kind of opens up almost the wrong way, but you can see when it's open, I've stamped on the inside to kind of give to add to it. I perhaps could have not covered over the person, but hey, you know. And then I've used Stampin' Blends in the in colours. That's actually the Retiring Pineapple Punch that's going, and Call Me Clover. You'll see there the bikes are in Call Me Clover. A little bit of Call Me Clover here as well. But I've used the other in colours as well. I just thought it was a really fun kind of card and just something a little bit different. And I say, it's when it stands, you kind of get that nice staggered effect as well. So that's what we're going to be making. I have used Thick Whisper White for my card base because I'm just putting some of the standard designer series paper on the front. I decided it was a good idea just to keep that. So it was good to use a thicker card base to keep the integrity of the card. So I'm working in centimetres, but I'll pop inches as usual on my blog. I'm cutting a piece of A4 cardstock at 14.5 centimetres and then trimming it down to 27.5 centimetres. So that's just under 11 inches, so you can make this out of US A4 cardstock. You don't need to use 12 by 12. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, I had a tickly cough for some time. Right, the first score line you're going to make is at 3 centimetres. So rather than flipping it, I'm just going to pop it on here. Make sure that's butted up nicely. 3 centimetres at 13.5 centimetres. And then at 23 centimetres. So very simple scoring, nice and easy for you. So pop that to one side, and you're going to need to cut yourself some designer series paper. So I used Pretty Peacock and Seaside Spray for my other one. I thought we might mix it up a little bit with a bit of Purple Posy and Rococo Rose. So you're going to again need 3 pieces. They're going to need to be 14.5 centimetres. And I'm going to need a piece which is 9 centimetres for the back. And I'm going to use the rest of that to cut a piece for the very front, which is 2.5 centimetres. There we go, that piece there. And then the second sort of panel piece is 4 centimetres. So I might actually, I'll use the script. Yeah, I'll use the script one again. There we go. So, you know, it uses less than 1 sheet of 6 by 6. So, you know, I haven't trimmed that to 14.5. That would help. So you know, if you're, whatever paper you're using, you know, one sheet of 6x6 is really minimal supplies. What you are going to need though is your bone folder, and you're going to need to really burnish these score lines well. Being the thick Whisper White again, obviously it takes a little bit more burnishing. So fold them all in the direction of the score lines, and then you're going to fold it with the larger one, larger scored section on the right. And if I'm like this, I've got a slight edge on my card, just run your bone folder over that and that will help get rid of that as well. If you've still got any furriness, good old sanding block, and that will take that away beautifully. So fold it back on itself, and then this one folds onto the front. So as you can see, it's a really simple fold. And then we're going to add our designer series paper. So if we open it out, this is the piece that's going to go on the panel here. Grab my other tape roller. I'm just waiting for the new Stampin' Up! Tape pens to come out. They should be with us. They'll be with us with the new catalogue. So very exciting times. Now, what I'm going to do is actually go from this centre line, because that's the edge that you're going to see most of. Okay, so that's going to fold here. So the other piece is going to go on the front edge of this. The reason my tape runner's running out is because I've left them downstairs. I was doing a bit of crafting, making up some cards, for thank you cards, to go out with our local kind of food. We've got an isolation support group, and so we thought it would be a nice idea to send out some cards with the next packages that we send out, just to kind of wish people well. So I was busy prepping those, and as a result I have left my snail downstairs. I probably should have got organised and got it done before I started videoing, really, I suppose. Hey, what would be the fun in that? And just pop that on the front panel. So there we have our 3-panel card, as you can see. Now when it comes to the images, you'll see I've done 2 of them here. I'm just going to do the 3rd image, just show you a couple of things on that I want to do. So our 3rd image is our that I'm using is the swimmer. Ink it up well, Memento black, you know, tap tap tap, really good ink. And then this is one where actually I've cut the circles first. Okay, so there's our stamped image. Just let that dry just for a moment. Memento, if you're going to use alcohol markers, is a bit of a must. And things that you'll want. So the colours I'm going to be using here, I'm going to want my light and my dark pool party. I'm going to want my colour lifter, which I think you really ought to call colour blender. And I'm using my dark Rococo Rose and some ivory. Okay, so those are my colours that I'm going to be using. Now that should have hopefully started. So with the ivory is great for its skin tones. There's an ivory and a bronze. If you've already got one but haven't got the other one, get it now while you still can. It's going to be as a pair, the ivory and bronze, with the new catalogue, so grab that while you can. Now I'm just colouring in stuff like I mean it could be a wetsuit or a swimsuit, but either way they usually wear really bright colours, particularly on their hats because of the going into open water. I know this, my husband also has done triathlon before now, and we've watched a fair few on the telly too. So that's your sort of skin tone, your ivory and your bronze. Your pool party, again, I'm actually ordered a few pool party light extras because I do use them a lot for backgrounds, and I don't just use them for, but they give this kind of halo effect around the person. So I'm going to add my dark pool party, really where these kind of shades are. So just add some in like so. Then I'm going to use my light pool party over the top to kind of blend those in as well. And then this is where I say this is a blender rather than a colour lifter. Just go over the edge in circular motions, and that will just help blur that. And that's the same for this effect. And this is how you get the kind of halo effect on your images. And it just softens it to kind of make, without you having to colour the whole of the background in, to make it seem like a really nice effect. So with my card, which I've now got, I've now got to find those stamped and coloured images that I had just seconds ago here. There we go. And add those on. So with this one, I'm adding this one to the front, this one on second, and then this one on third. And actually what I'm going to do on this is, on the first card I actually arranged that flat on the back, but I think I'm actually going to attach that to the reverse of that panel. So I'm actually going to add my glue like so. And I'm making sure I'm kind of keeping the images placed all the time to try and make sure I've got something, whereas on the other one I didn't do quite so well. There we go. And then this final one is just going to go on the top there. And there you have a real fun image. I'm not sure. I think maybe it was better when it was down flat. Again, who knows? I'll see. At least that way you get to see the cyclist on the front, which is what I wanted to do. Now what I've done is I've then just added my stamped image of my runners onto that centre panel. Add my cyclists over here, and then I just popped a thin strip of whatever paper I happen to have handy, and it was, I didn't even measure it, it was that imprecise. So I'm actually going to just grab a piece I've got here, and probably about an inch, 2.5 centimetres. So just trim that down to 14.5 centimetres. And then that's just as you would sort of decorate the inside of your card, just a little strip of paper on the edge there. And there we have our pair of cards for sports mad enthusiasts. Add whichever sentiment you want. If you've got someone who's off to go and do some sport, sentiments are great in that as well. But if not, just add a happy birthday or whatever occasion it's for. Maybe a happy retirement. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon. And don't forget, if you'd like to purchase any of the products you've seen, pop along to my blog at flutterbyheidi.co.uk and follow the links, or pop along to my Stampin' Up shop, heidismith.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. Bye now.